Ricochet just fired off a tweet that got a lot of the IWC buzzing in response to WWE is on a slander tour. I said it earlier. I don't think it's the right way to handle it. It's funny. I mean, it's always the punching down thing I laugh at, but I don't think I think it's a bad look right now when a lot of people are accusing them of being money hungry. But so Ricochet fired off a tweet basically saying, "Oh man, these guys fucking suck," about the brass at WWE in response to Nick Khan going on Bill Simmons' podcast and saying he expects to be able to sign a bunch of the AEW talent in the coming year as their contracts expire, kind of insinuating that there's a lot of unhappy people in AEW. I'll start with you, Deep. Do you expect to see more talent make the jump, and do you think that this media tour that WWE's on, is this the right play right now?
So I'll start with, do I expect more talent? Yes, I do believe there are people on the AEW roster who aren't being used, that are looking at Penta and Ray Phoenix and Jade Cargill, Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, all being used in some fashion on TV, and how they're being treated. And I do think that they will. I've said that since 2019, that the reason the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes chose Tony Khan to finance the thing is because he's a money mark.
Yeah.
And it go, to go back to Mariah, she understands that this guy will pay whatever it'll take to keep her there. So I do think that either the people in the locker room will use that against them, or they'll leave. As for the media tour, I don't understand why Nick Khan is doing the media tour himself. This is WrestleMania. You're not an on-screen character. Why are we not building storyline through, Seth Rollins? I know Seth Rollins was doing podcasts somewhere else. Yeah. But why is CM Punk not? Why is Roman Reigns never? Why is he given the grace to not ever have to show up to work?
Yeah, I really.
Jay Uso is your biggest star in the company. He does no podcast.
He can't say enough words though. Deep. You can only go, right, you're right. Eat too many times before someone's like, "Hey, we gotta answer the question."
Right. You have Jade and Naomi literally going back and forth on Twitter right now.
Sure.
This would be a perfect podcast little thing where put Naomi or put Jade on Pat McAfee and just tell a story. Have them beat the shit out of each other in his studio.
Yeah.
That would have worked. Triple H, I get it, because he's head of creative. Sure. He's being inducted in the Hall of Fame. But even still, why don't you have your talent doing the promotion for you? I do think it's a little childish. Nick Khan said, "Oh, that other company, they sign people and then bench them," as if Omos and Apollo haven't been sitting on the bench for the last 6 months.
And Andrade is doing a couple backstage promos. They're keeping him relevant that way.
Right. Or you bring up Carmelo Hayes and do absolutely nothing with him.
Yeah.
I mean, now he's got the Miz, so that might turn out to be something, but it's been a year now.
Sure.
So I think it's a little childish. At the same time, though, I don't think the IWC can be upset, because Tony Khan did this same thing.
Sure. So, it's an eye for an eye. I do believe that. But I always believe that if you want to be the leader, the industry leader, don't punch back. Just pretend like it's not happening. One of those things,
right? My comparison always is Vince McMahon didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
And so he just let them talk trash about his company, and he's going to put on WrestleMania. They made a record gate with half the amount of fans for a weekend this weekend compared to last WrestleMania, made more money.
Yeah.
We could talk about ticket prices, and we've already done about that. We've already complained about that.
Oh yeah,
several times in the build. But yeah, I don't get why we have to stir the pot here. I understand, poking fun, but I don't think this is needed.
So James, this feels coordinated to me. Like, if you listen to the talking points that you're seeing Triple H and Nick Khan hit, it feels like an attack. As an AEW fan, what are your feel like? It's gotta because I mean, they got to at least want to invite the AEW fans into the WWE audience. It's the same thing we say where a lot of AEW fans alienate WWE fans. To me, this is the perfect counterpoint for an AEW fan to go, well, this is why I don't fucking like you guys. Is that kind of the feelings?
Yeah, the people that I follow on social media that are AEW exclusive, like that's all they talk about is it feels like WWE is the coordinating these attacks, and I'll bring this up. Like AEW announced earlier that today that they are going to Arena Mexico, and then a report came out a couple hours later saying WWE wants to do another Mexican tour.
Yes.
And so I do think it is coordinated, and obviously it's kind of probably ramping up obviously with Mania season. This week is big because AEW's breaking the WCW TV record, and the audience, it seems to be growing. Collision had the second best number of 2025 outside of the big numbers that they had with like the All-Star game and all that. Like without an All-Star lead, this was their second biggest number for Collision this week or this past week. And then the numbers of Max have yet to be confirmed, but it seems to say that maybe, you know, the younger audience is leaning towards Max. And so I do think maybe WWE is doing this coordinated attack to say, hey, we're still the big dogs on campus. Y'all may be having, you know, good success, but you ain't here yet. And I do, to Ricochet's point, I don't know if he's playing his gimmick.
I think it's all character. I mean, at this point, I like to poke fun, but I think this is his character at this point, is to just be the jackass.
Right. And if it is gimmick, then I get it. If it's not, like, I don't know, like Tony Khan, like he had his shots. He had Will Ospreay talk crap about Triple H on Dynamite last year. Like, it's just kind of part of the business now.
It's
and
wrestling. Yeah, I mean,
like,
that's what it's supposed to be.
I always like to think, like, if we had social media back during the Monday Night Wars, like, you would have Eric Bischoff and Vince McMahon jawing on Twitter every night.
Sure.
Like, Bischoff was so petty that he gave away spoilers to shows on his show. So this has always been part of the business, and I don't see it. It's childish, but I don't think you should expect anything less from this business because we've seen it for decades.
Sure. I think my take is a little bit of what you're saying. I think this is WWE a little bit upset that they kind of reserve this week selfishly for themselves. So anybody who tries to make history or news during this week irritates them. And so I think they've had a coordinated, well, let's just shit on anything they do this week. That's kind of my take.
Right. And I don't know if you saw this, but Tony Khan bought ad space at the Vegas airport to do a Dynamite commercial on
I didn't see
on
that.
The Tron. Like, it flashes every 20. Yeah. So
which would piss WWE off.
Vegas, so
yeah, I'm pretty sure they think they own Las Vegas this week. I would imagine.
Right.
I'm sure they don't love all the, like, you know, as good as it is for wrestling, the little like cons that are around, the WrestleCon and things like that. I'm sure WWE hates the shit out of those.
Well, you're even seeing now all the big promotions, the GCW, are doing WWE ID tournaments.
Oh,
so
okay.
All the big shows people would go.
They're
all
affiliating.
The big things, right, or affiliated with WWE now. So all the smaller shows probably won't get as much support.
Gotcha.
But the big GCWs, I think there's one out in Vegas called FSW or Future Stars Wrestling or something. They're doing the women's side of the ID tournament.
Interesting.
So WWE's definitely blocked this week off.
Gotcha.
For them.
ROH typically has a pay-per-view this week, but they moved it till May, I guess, they didn't want to have any form of competition with.
Yeah.
And even tomorrow, Thursday Collision, they're saying it's because of the NBA playoffs is the reason they moved it live on Thursday. I have a feeling it's more they didn't want to run head-to-head with WrestleMania.
Yeah, and probably knowing that Triple H would sabotage the event, right? He all of a sudden, hey, there's a new weird show that's happening right when this is happening.